We interrupt our program at the request of the White House. This is the Emergency Broadcast System. The Emergency Broadcast System has been activated to keep you informed. This station will continue to broadcast, furnishing news, official information, and instruction as soon as possible.
Welcome to this emergency broadcast of Bad Movies, Worst People. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
I'm Patrick.
And today we are discussing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Woo! So can I start
That's
and
the
just
most
say
exciting part.
one thing really quick?
I was like, that's what I paid my ticket for. Not Derek doing it,
Yeah, it
but
was.
that fucking song. Go ahead, you say your piece, girl.
Huge spoiler alert.
There's gonna be
Oh, yeah.
spoilers.
It is-
Yeah, say that real quick before you go
Oh, yeah.
on.
Yeah, we're not doing our usual step by step, but we will be talking about what happens in the movie. So if you don't want to hear or if you want to watch it,
Wait.
probably turn this off and then go watch it and then come back
We'll,
and listen.
we'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait here.
We'll
Hold
sit
on.
here and wait. Okay, ready?
Welcome back to Bad Movies, Worst People.
It took you so long to come back because this movie's 5 hours long.
I made a boom
Fucking long
boom.
was it?
154 minutes.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
you're gonna make me
2.5
do math?
hours.
I'm not doing
Well, that's
that.
how you do movie times.
Yeah.
2 hours and 34 minutes. And
You know what? It
cost-
felt like 3 in that hot theater.
It did. There was no airflow.
There was no airflow at all.
Did David tell them
I
not
kept
to turn
trying
the
to
air
blow
on?
myself just to cool it down.
All I'm saying is that this movie cost about $2 million a minute to make.
Wow, $2 million a minute? I didn't see it.
What's that in
No.
80s money?
$50 trillion.
In 80s money,
Wait,
this is
Well,
probably
$20.
Why?
what's Last Crusade? 50 million?
I don't know. Seems right. But this is the 13th most expensive movie ever made, not adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
Once you adjust for inflation, it's only like the 30th most expensive movie
That's
ever
still
made.
up there. You're still cracking 250.
You're still double digits.
Yeah. But what were you going to say
okay, so
before
what I was
we
gonna
so
say-
rudely spoilered you?
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Spoiled
if
you,
you
spoiler.
could be so lax. I would 1,000% accept time travel over aliens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a resounding yes from me.
Nodding in agreement.
Yep.
I
I don't think anybody's going to argue that point, though.
thank you.
I heard that time travel is going to be a thing, and I kept thinking, oh, that's how they're going to young him up.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be like, oh, this isn't 19. Was it? What did it start with? 1960s?
It was
the moon
well,
landing
It started
shit?
at the end of World War II, so 1940 something.
Yeah.
It started there,
Like
yeah,
when we
sorry,
opened,
but when
but
it
then-
goes back to him.
Yeah, I
was
want to say 62.
1969.
Okay,
69. That's
Because
right.
it was the day we landed on the moon.
So I kept thinking
Nice.
69,
History.
nice. I kept thinking that's how they're going to get him young is just, him go back and it's going to be an early fucking mechanism.
Yeah.
And we're going to be stuck with this fake
I know-
face
you know what?
bullshit.
I thought the de-aging looked wonderful.
Except for
looked-
the teeth. That was the only thing I hated.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice either. But what I will say is I think the more we rewatch this as a people, not us as a
Yeah.
group, God damn it. But I mean, like,
about
as
rewatch.
as people watch it more, you're going to start picking it out.
I mean, probably, but I was looking pretty closely because I'd heard how they did it. Basically, was Lucasfilm or Disney, or whatever, same thing, has
Conglomerate.
like some AI system that basically scrubbed through all of their footage of Harrison Ford, which is a lot because he was in a lot of Disney and a lot of Lucasfilm and a lot of Paramount or Fox and all these companies that are involved. And they basically took bits and pieces, like the AI took everything he was ever in, including unreleased footage. So it's all these different lightings and everything, and it built this based on him. So it was him acting. This wasn't a CG person. This was him acting with like dots on his face.
Yes. If you want to
Okay.
see a better description of what Derek's talking about, they talk about it on Mandalorian. The behind the scenes on Disney Plus. It shows how they recreate Luke's face.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. I'm sure it's come a long way because now we're talking about 6 years ago.
Yeah, and I mean
technology moves at a blinding speed. But that's the only thing I wanted to say is you can see the behind the scenes on
because I mean the
gallery.
Leia and Tarkin and all that stuff didn't look great.
That was the beginning of this. Like
yeah.
that was them.
I mean,
like,
it's the beginning was was it Jeff Bridges, right?
That's Tron. That's
Tron
what I was
Legacy.
thinking.
Oh,
I
that
don't remember
is-
watching
and that
the
was
second
bad.
one completely
Man, Disney's
through. I
been
just
doing
remember
this for a
seeing
while.
that and going, what the fuck?
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't mind it in that movie, but I was like, he's stuck in a computer machine. He looks like he's in a computer machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Your
sense.
brain made it work.
Tron back in
You
the
can
day.
throw some filters on that.
Nobody
boy.
else looked like they were stuck in a computer machine, and they were, but they were
To your
weren't
point,
from the
though,
real world.
it
so.
didn't. I was expecting it to look like absolute
Yeah, I thought
dog
it looked
shit.
great. I mean, I
Yeah,
literally just watched Last Crusade last night, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Show
You
me
didn't
the
call me?
difference."
Standing reservation. If you're watching Last Crusade, you give your boy a call.
All right, well, let's watch it right now.
All right, put it on. Everyone wait.
Da-da-da.
You were named after a dog.
Oh,
Took the
So-
dog's name.
So this movie was directed by James Mangold, the first of these movies not directed by Steven Spielberg.
Uh-huh.
James Mangold will be on the show again because he did Copland. He wrote and directed Copland.
where's he gonna sit?
I wish. He also did a
Right
bunch of
here?
other movies. He did Walk the Line, Girl Interrupted, 310 to Yuma, The Wolverine.
So he's got.
Logan.
Oh, that's right.
I
He
loved
did the
310
old
to
man
Yuma.
Logan. Well,
Yeah.
it's not called that, but that's
Yeah.
what it is. I like that movie.
Yeah, he did good. And this movie has most of who you would expect. You got Harrison Ford. Karen Allen shows up for 14 seconds. John Rhys
Davies.
Davies.
Do you
Playing
have?
I'm pretty sure his character is supposed to be Muslim, and all he's been doing for the last 8 years is talking shit about Muslims on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
so it's great.
Yeah, he's got a lot of hate speech. This guy, John Rhys Davies.
We also have Antonio Banderas, kind of, and Mads Mikkelsen,
I
who
was
is
really
wonderful.
happy to see
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas.
I was like, what?
I'm really sad because let me just get this out of the way. I found this movie fairly boring,
That's fair.
and I definitely slept through the majority of Antonio Banderas.
Oh,
I feel
man.
It's
bad.
not his fault. I was just already.
No, it's
It was warm in the
I was
theater.
warm. I was
Yeah.
tired from the earlier parts, and it's crazy to be tired. It's like the first
I'm
Transformers.
exhausted from watching the first half of this movie.
Well, it's like the first Transformers, where it's supposed to be all this action, but it's so boring, and that's what this was. It was action, 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 but the action didn't mean anything.
Okay.
except for that first scene.
So I
love
want
the
to speak
first
to that
scene.
though. The action is the thing I think missed in this movie. When it was Mads Mikkelsen and Harrison Ford, and forgive me for not knowing Homegirl's name, but when it was those three on set and they were dialoguing, it worked.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
She was
Helena.
L337 in Solo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like her. Like, I thought she was really good in this. I just don't give a shit about the action. The Jurassic Park green screen.
Yeah, the
flying
cart
down
chasing.
an alleyway. Yeah, the car chase specifically was way too long.
Yeah.
Tuk-tuk chase.
The tuk-tuk chase, yeah. Dude, tuk-tuk roll is just get out of there.
So I enjoyed the first action scene, the train. Again, I think maybe part of it
We're
was
back
because
to punching Nazis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's punching Nazis. It's
Going with what works.
it's computer Harrison Ford on a computer train, so it looks better, I guess.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as jarring when it's a computer train with a real actor or a real actor computer train.
We're doing this episode because we all assumed this was going to suck.
Yep.
But I started having higher hopes as I was rewatching them because I was like, the first one's great, Nazis. Second one, no Nazis, meh. Third one, great, Nazis. Fourth one, no Nazis,
Russians.
meh.
How did you make a movie where you got sexy ass Kate Blanchett as a villain and I'm not happy about it?
You know what? There was way more CG in this movie than there was in that one.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
You know what I was happy to find out? Shia LaBeouf is dead.
Yes.
Like when he
They
was like,
killed
I
him.
tell my son not to join the army and die. I'm like, good. That little fucking punk kid
Okay,
was
that's his
swinging
son?
around with
All right.
monkeys.
I couldn't remember.
Oh, you fell asleep during
No,
Crystal?
I knew his son was dead.
You watched it, but you didn't watch Crystal Skull's volume.
Yes, I watched. Full disclosure: the one time I did watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, beginning to end, I couldn't hear it.
And Derek's
I
the
was
big winner
donating
tonight.
plasma, and I had headphones in, and they had it on the TV, and I was watching it, and I was like, "Should I take my headphones out?" And I watched about 20 minutes, and I was like, "Nah." So I watched the whole movie with no sound. It had subtitles.
Yeah, and you couldn't find out that it was his son.
Well, I don't remember. I was donating plasma. That means I was in college. That was like 20 years ago.
That also
movie
means you were
existed just
donating
to, like,
plasma.
Pass the fucking torch. That's all it was. Was we were in another universe. Shia LaBeouf is Indiana Jones
Yeah.
somewhere right now,
100%.
and thank God it's not this fucking universe.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure if he hadn't gone to jail and all that stuff, he might have continued. But also, that movie was an incredible failure. So
yeah, for a lot of reasons.
All right. So Indiana Jones, this is supposed to be the last one. This is what Harrison Ford has said. Harrison Ford says there's going to be no passing of the torch. Like, his quote is, "When I'm gone, he's gone."
I mean,
Now,
I
Harrison
want
Ford
that to
doesn't
happen.
own this character, so when he dies in a couple of years,
I got a few
future
words.
rest in pictures, they're gonna do it.
I got a few words. Money, 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 money.
Yeah, I mean, so in this movie,
If it makes
Harrison
money,
Ford,
they'll pay Harrison Ford some more.
Well, he did say he would never play Han Solo again, and guess what? They fucking killed Han Solo.
Yeah, he didn't want to play him, and they were like, "Yeah, but you're still alive." He's like, "All right, I'll show up if you kill me."
I was gonna say
Right?
jokes on him, I guess, because he came back in Episode 9 as Han Solo.
Oh yeah, but that's when they killed him,
No,
right?
they killed him in Episode 7.
He died in Episode
Wait,
7.
what?
It was just
He
like
comes
a
back in.
flashback,
It's
wasn't it?
a force. God damn it! It's a force memory brought on by Kylo Ren. Like it's not. He's not really there. But the actor was on set.
Was he
Got
really?
paid as Han Solo.
Was he
I
on
didn't
set
know
or
that.
did they just CG him?
Either it's the
Yeah, I
same
mean, he
thing
still
for
gets
Disney.
paid,
It's
yeah.
the same thing for Disney. You show me the difference between on set and on green
Well,
screen.
hopefully he got paid for it.
Oh yeah,
We
he got
own your
paid.
likeness. We will do what we want.
So Harrison Ford turns 81, I believe, in a couple of weeks here.
Ooh,
That's the
my.
year I was born.
They started filming this. He was 78 because it took a long time to make this movie.
Because it took him a long time to walk from his trailer to set.
I do love though. So
I'm on my way.
I know
I
obviously
belong in a museum.
he does belong in a museum.
He does. This
Dude, how
belongs
many
in a
times did they
museum.
say belong in a museum? In
The
this
first time
movie?
I was like, all right, call back.
Yeah.
All right, you cheeky motherfucker, knock
So
it off.
We had that. We had the Where Does It Hurt Kissy Kiss at the
Uh-huh.
end here.
Yeah.
And then we also had the really poorly done, and we'll get there, but whatever, who cares? We're not doing it in order. The really poorly done callback to the scene from the first one where the story about the Harrison Ford having a cold and he's supposed to have this big sword fight scene and then
Oh,
he just
yeah,
shot the guy
yeah.
because he was too sick. Or not a cold, he had food poisoning, right?
Yeah, food poisoning.
And they did that in this movie where he like pulled his whip out and then every guy stood up and pulled out a gun. I was like, wah,
yeah,
wah.
it was a flat trombone. That thing had performance issues.
But I will say he did some of his own stunts. Obviously, he couldn't do a lot of them being, almost a centurion here. But
Yeah.
is that
Well,
the
he
right
even
word?
says he's like, you
Yeah.
weren't tortured by Nazis. You weren't
Shot
attacked with
99.
voodoo.
Yeah,
and
you didn't have
You
to
didn't
drink
drink the blood of.
drink the blood. Like,
Call.
I liked that moment.
That was cute.
So
where
full
he's just like
disclosure,
hanging.
this was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, I was expecting hot white lava trash.
I was expecting worse than the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
And-
it's worlds better than Crystal Skull.
It almost had to be, right?
Yeah, without sound, it would be better too.
No, there was. I found
Derek just
myself.
puts earbuds in when we're watching this. Like, hold on, I'm going to get the real experience.
I found myself laughing at little. I apparently pissed off the guy in front of us
Oh,
because I laughed at a part and he looked back at me and glared, got in his wheelchair and left.
Huh. He takes his Indiana Jones real seriously.
Like, sorry, buddy.
Were you laughing at a Nazi dying? Because there was some funny Nazi
Yeah.
deaths.
Yeah.
I love this. So
By
a
the
lot
way,
of-
you should always laugh at Nazis
yeah,
dying.
Always.
A lot of people died in this movie, but whenever a Nazi died, it was extra brutal. And
Oh,
Yeah.
my favorite unrealistic part of Nazis dying is the turret gun at the head of the train.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, yeah,
The
that was
anti-aircraft
one of
one?
those
Yes.
Indiana Jones things, right? Where it's like a convenient thing that actually helps him out. But yeah,
But it starts with him having to get like, oh my God, the gun's headed right for us.
Yeah.
Once he gets out of the way, it's like, oh shit, it's taking out Nazis.
Yeah, 'cause
left
they
and
get-
right.
Left
dude.
and right.
yeah,
Oh.
there's an anti-aircraft gun on the front of the train. It gets hit with a bomb, and the dudes die, but they just die with their finger on the trigger, I guess. And it's the train is on a curve, and it's just blasting every other train car. And dude, that
There's
guy was
people
in
crawling
bed.
on the outside.
The guy jumps out of bed and tries to
Starts
run from
running.
it,
Like,
just
all
gets
right, this guy's
shredded.
getting no, he ain't going nowhere.
Well, and they even said it in that last like action scene when they travel through time, and the guy is like hanging out of the thing, and she's like, "Yeah, sorry, you're a Nazi."
Yeah. Sorry, dude. Don't apologize for that.
Get the fuck out.
So speaking of being on the train, though, Mads Mikkelsen makes a phenomenal Nazi.
He does.
Yeah.
Like, he was great just in the suit as Schmidt. The whole movie, he's great. And then when he puts on the actual Nazi uniform, like, man, this should have been your fucking villain in every Nazi movie.
The timing for this movie is pretty good because with Oppenheimer coming out and how that was part of was it Operation Paperclip or whatever,
Yep.
when they brought all the Nazis over and they were like, well, they're not Nazis anymore, now they work for America.
Yeah.
And it
They're
was
still
and
Nazis.
The writer, who's also James Mangold, and then two other guys, I think, they were basically like, well, we wanted to explore that, like, how much aren't they Nazis
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
angle. So, like, because this guy, so
You can look up von Braun in history. Look up the Dr. von Braun.
yeah, well, that's who this guy's kind of based on.
Okay.
Because he's the one who did the Saturn missiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was supposed to be, they called it the V2 missile, I think. So it's
Yeah.
like it's a takeoff of the Nazi rocket, the missiles that they were using. And he says, like right at the beginning, when they're celebrating the moon landing and everything, and
He
someone's
put you
like,
there.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
guy put you there, and he's like talking to the black guy, and he's
The
like,
the
oh,
black waiter. Great
he's being
responses.
so fucking racist. So what is your nationality? Where are you from?
But I love it. He's like,
I was
dude.
born in New York. Like, fuck
From the
you.
Bronx.
Yeah, but where are your people from? I was born right outside Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Good for you. Stand your fucking guns,
Yeah.
dude.
And then he's like, he said to him, he's like,
Won't you fight
and
for your
do you need
country?
do you need anything else? And the guy's like, or the guy says, do you need anything else? And Mads Mikkelsen is the one that goes, I just want you to know you didn't win the war. Hitler lost it. And that's when I was like, oh, so he's going to go back in time to
Exactly
get rid
what
of
I
Hitler.
thought, too.
They act like it was a big reveal. I was like, well,
No, he said it in the first couple minutes, man.
it's Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know. I don't know what to
There's
call it.
A lot of the things in this movie are like Chernobyl's rope.
Yeah.
You know, like everything.
madness.
Chernobyl's bullwhip. But like pretty much everything came back to like oh yeah, he said that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the little kid said he could pilot airplanes. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
said that
he was learning. No, he was learning to pilot when they were in Morocco.
I know.
He like
Yeah.
set up that weird fun. I mean, that thing
They
looked
set
fun.
everything up that happened later. I mean, they did a good
100%.
job
Well,
of
you
that.
It's just
see a
kind
kid
of-
do.
it held our
just
hand a
act
bit.
like they build shit up. And
Like
Yeah.
what
imagination.
at the end when he melts the wax with the booze there.
Uh-huh.
He, like, they set that up at the beginning when he wakes up in his underwear and he's a drunk.
He's playing the long con.
And he
That
put
was-
his shirt on backwards. That
Dude,
was
can
fun.
we talk about how shirtless Harrison Ford is as an actor?
Holy
And-
ripness.
Old
man
this
skin
was-
hanging.
This better than me shirtless, but
Yeah.
that's not a standard.
Looks better than me
This
shirtless.
was his idea to show up to start the
So-
movie naked.
I've been seeing him shirtless in a lot of things recently. Shrinking, the show Shrinking on
Okay.
Apple TV. He's shirtless, and I don't know who that's for. I recently just finished the miniseries 1923. He's shirtless. I don't know who that's for. And then tonight, I see Harrison Ford shirtless again. You know what's gonna happen?
It's for you.
It's like the Beetlejuice of Harrison Ford's torso.
It's
I'm gonna
it's
see
for
him
you.
tonight.
You are. He's in your
gonna
bed
appear
waiting
in
for
your
you.
sleep.
God,
He's waiting for you. It's just like, Jacqueline.
One of my favorite
please
jokes.
no.
One of my favorite jokes in the entire movie. So on the train, he gets rid. Mads Mikkelsen is hanging off the side of the train, and he pretends to give him the Archimedes dial. Not even going to
Only
pretend
an
to say the
idiot
name.
thought that it was in there.
Yeah, we've seen him do this before. He always gives you just an empty bag, right? And Mads Mikkelsen's like, I got it, and gets hit with this fucking like
This guy's
water
dead, by the
pistol
way.
bell
Hole
thing.
or
Yeah.
something.
You're fucking dead.
And then when he
You at
sees
least
him
have
later,
scars for a face.
well, and the pictures I saw, he did have scars, and then in the movie he didn't. So
Yeah.
He had one scar above his left eyebrow.
like the
He couldn't be
promo
bothered
pictures
in
I saw, he
makeup.
had like an X scar on his cheek, which would make a lot more sense. 'Cause he got
1,000
hit
more
with
sense.
A fucking post going however fast trains go. But I loved it when Harrison Ford saw him, and he's like, "Don't I know you?" And he's like, "No, you don't know me." And he's like, "Nah, your face rings a bell." I was like, "Zing, buddy."
Zing. I would love it. He's like, no, I don't get it. I don't know you. Like the joke is lost on me because I don't know who you are.
I know at first I thought, what, was he trying to play like an amnesiac? That, oh no, I have no idea who you are. But you know he knew.
He's just a Nazi.
See, I wanted to like talk about some of the action scenes, but I don't. That's the thing. I don't even remember. I remember the train.
Okay.
I remember the tuk chase. I don't really remember much else. That
I'll
was
tell
like
you
it was
what's
very
great.
I mean-
non-memorable
I'll tell you what's great though.
until the end.
the
Yeah.
fucking Foley work
Yeah.
is still so good.
Yes.
Go back to those first three Indiana Jones when he's punching a Nazi. Well, only in the first and third. He's punching voodoo people in the second one.
The second one's very racist.
But it's still like really good. If I remember correctly, it's a baseball bat hitting newspapers. Like it's
think
it's
so.
a really good crack. It sounds so good to punch a Nats.
that's what Nazis sound like when you hit them.
I gotta
Old
find
newspapers.
out. Bucket list.
I think we can find some.
I'd like to punch a Nazi before I die.
Just go to a Trump rally.
Yeah.
find
Well,
a
then I have
Nazi.
to be at a Trump rally.
go to
and I might
Sholo.
get punched for people thinking I'm a Nazi.
They don't like gingers.
Oh, that's true. They wouldn't take me.
They're like, no, you're Irish. Get your fucking potato eating ass out of here.
I'm like, that's stereotypical. I'm eating my raw potato. I'm taking my Irish apple and,
your
I'm leaving.
your whiskey.
Just cut a hole in a potato, fill it with whiskey.
If I wasn't drinking whiskey of a potato, I'd fight you right now, sir. But I don't want to be stereotypical, so I'm leaving. Get my 13 kids out of
You
here.
heard that Ireland has more drunks per capita than people?
I'm on my way to Ireland. What is the name of the blonde guy that with the little mustache?
Oh, I don't remember.
Agent
Oh.
Smith. So I don't know how you know him.
I didn't recognize. I mean, I
The one with
vaguely
the lip
recognized him.
thing.
Yeah, he had the mustache and
The
He
main,
always
the
kinda had
main
his-
he kind
sidekick
of looks
Nazi.
like a little baby
What?
Walton
The main
Goggins.
sidekick Nazi.
So the
Yeah,
first
okay,
thing I
yeah.
ever saw him in was that awful Predators.
Oh, okay. I did see that, but I don't remember.
But
it.
recently, he's having a resurgence because he played the eyeball monster in Sandman. on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And he's in a couple other things like
the Corinthian.
Corinthian.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you. He played Corinthian in Sandman.
Well, he was fucking great in Sandman.
Yes. Hey, I thought he was great in this. It's just he
the
didn't
guy
have
with the sunglasses that was molesting kids.
In which film?
In the Sandman.
In Sandman.
Oh, in Sandman. Okay.
In this film, he was the blonde. Looked like if Draco Malfoy grew up and became a CIA agent.
Okay, so he was the one.
He wasn't an
became a
agent.
Nazi. I'm like, I think he was.
I mean, Draco Malfoy, come on. Talk about purebreds, blonde. Are we splitting hairs, dude? They were Nazis.
Just blonde
So
hair.
he was
The
Schmidt's
fucking
like
Malfoys are Nazis, dude.
left foot girl. Mads
Mikkelsen's
Left-hand girl.
left foot girl,
Left foot girl.
right hand man. Yeah, no, I like him. It's him and that giant fucking.
Oh my god, that
huge
beast!
This is how I knew they were trying to return to form. You put a big fucking white foreigner in your movie.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I also just watched True Lies yesterday. I had a busy day.
Oh yeah, you
And they
did.
totally did True Lies in this movie too. When he gets on the horse, he's chased, but he was running away on the horse. He was on the police horse, and the guy was chasing him on the motorcycle.
Ooh, they
and I was
flipped
like,
it.
I was like, that's the reverse True Lies. I was waiting for him to get in an elevator, but he did get on a subway train.
did get on
And
a
he,
subway.
and he had a snippy little line instead of third floor, please. He said, "Oh, it's
Subway's
faster.
faster.
Yeah,
Subway's
abandons
faster."
the horse and jumps on.
Yeah.
The subway's quicker. Everybody's like, right.
Unnecessary action scenes. Like you don't have to ramp it up. You can just have a good car chase. You don't need a horse chasing or running away from a train.
Yeah.
No,
That's not needed.
That was a little like.
And that's the thing is like because the action, like I said, was kind of unmemorable to me. A lot of it was I felt like this movie could have been less than 2 hours.
It should have been.
Easily.
And if they would have just taken out 2 of these action scenes, and
You put this in at 2 hours, I'm having a lot better of a time.
yeah, because there was one point where I was like, all right, this is almost over, right? And I was like, it's got an hour.
Upon my second pee, I was like, man, I'm gonna look at the clock. Oh, I shouldn't have looked at the clock. It's a 2P movie.
Sorry, boob bump.
Booby bump.
Booby bump.
Take a
It
shot.
happens. Oh, that's why I did it. I put my beer down.
No, I'm saying anyone listening to a booby bump has to take a shot.
Booby bumps.
It's the new thing.
So I did feel like so it's a thing in these Indiana Jones and movies of its ilk, things that want to be Indiana Jones, like what's the Nicolas Cage?
National Treasure.
National
I
Treasure.
felt a lot of that when they were melting the wax on the dial, and then they're reading it, or when they're not on that part, when they're in the actual caves.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So I have been playing
When they're chasing the echoes, doing the
Yeah.
They didn't, but how great would that have been? Like, we gotta find the strong
Well, I love
part.
how they're going through and they're like, we need to find the loudest part of the cave. So they're both just like, bah, 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 bah,
Yeah,
bah,
that's
bah. I'm
not
like, how do you
helping
tell
you.
which one's the loudest part? Like,
Even when he was like, "Stop, it's right here," I was like, "How can you fucking
It's
tell?"
not even echoing right there.
you're telling me the 82-year-old could hear better than the whatever 40-year-old girl or whatever she is?
I don't
wasn't
think she was
18.
supposed to be 40.
I think she was.
I think
in
in real life she's like in her late 30s, but who
Yeah.
I
knows?
think she was supposed to be in her like mid to late 20s.
I'm happy
So-
they didn't give like some fucking young little sex pot like Indiana Jones goo goo eyes.
Oh,
and this
yeah.
girl,
Hey, this is your goddaughter.
This
and she's
girl's
of
also
age.
on the show Fleabag. Have you ever watched that?
No, Bleep was just talking about that.
I have a good friend who's
I like Bleep, and I'm glad Bleep came.
So full
well, I can use
disclosure.
his name because it's not real. The classy alcoholic who's a beer
Oh,
blogger
yeah,
here,
yeah.
here
He's
in
not
Tucson.
real?
Well, that's not his real name.
If you're listening, man,
He's not real.
How?
He's imaginary. But he's told me
Have you
about
ever
Fleabag.
met Derek's friend, the classy alcoholic, or
Have
is this
you?
Do you see him now?
Is it? It's a full on
You're in
hallucination.
a safe place, Derek. You're in a safe
me.
place. Sure. Full disclosure, though, Bleep loved this movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was talking through this whole movie.
Oh my
and
God,
I was
that's
just
one
like,
of-
I was like, Jack's over there getting all this material.
Maybe no. She was just. Did you know what she's like? What do you think Harrison Ford has for breakfast? Probably black coffee and cantaloupe. She had nothing to do with. She just kept leaning over and just going, "No ticket."
Oh, full marks.
Oh, she was quoting the entire trilogy that wasn't. But so on the way home, though, she said, "Man, Crystal Skull broke me, took my spirit, and broke
Yeah.
me." She goes, "This like just gave her back a little bit of trust for them. Like if this is your outing, at least you're not leaving on Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
At least."
Yeah, and that's my my biggest thing is I'm like I feel like this movie didn't need to be made, but I'm glad it was.
I'll back that up.
so that Crystal Skull wasn't the last one.
Yep.
I do have that
Agreed.
that 4K pack that came with the 4 movies, and I'll never watch Crystal Skull. And
That's 4 not okay.
I'm not buying this one to go with it either.
No.
I'm still going to pretend it's just 1 through 3, but this is a good. Harrison Ford was very good.
Yes,
Mads
he was.
Mikkelsen was very good. Like,
Oh, they
that's
did.
what matters.
I think everybody that was in there was really good. There wasn't a cringy moment. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'll quit talking
It's
soon.
okay.
Ray something Stone from Crystal's Kingdom Skull. He's in Departed. Ray Winstone. Anyway, obnoxious
Ray
fucking
Winstone.
character. Ray Winstone. I know you didn't listen to it, but he's an obnoxious character the entire Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf, not fucking good character the entire time. This movie, there was nobody in there that I cringed on set.
I was just
No.
gonna say, but they did stick with the Indiana Jones, and somebody has a little kid with the little kid sidekick.
Didn't you miss Short Round?
Oh my God. So
Yes.
speaking of that, when I was at work before I came, I was talking about how like I had heard that maybe Karen Allen was going to be in it, but we weren't sure, and like that maybe John Rhys Davies was going to be in it, but we weren't sure. And someone was like, "What about Short Round?" And I was like, "Dude, that guy, he's working again.
Yeah.
He just won a fucking Oscar."
Seriously,
Like, did you even call him up to see if he was available for this?
what would they put him as though?
And any fucking thing, anything. You know what? Have him be a contact. Like, hey, we're stuck in insert country name here.
Because they did go to a few of them.
Do you
Didn't
know
they?
anybody? I know a guy. He could be a little helpful.
Is that
Ki
booty
Hoi
traps?
Kwan, guys.
What is
Sorry,
it?
Ki Hoi Kwan.
Ki Hoi
I
Kwan.
couldn't think of his name.
Give him a fucking call.
Yeah, I mean maybe they did, and he was like, "No, I won an Oscar."
As much as I love Antonio Banderas in this movie,
Yes.
it would have been a better movie if he's like, I got a friend that has a boat and it's fucking Short Round.
I'm
That would-
I'm not gonna lie. When he said that, I was like,
When he said that bleep look, she's like, who's it gonna be? I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, I don't know, man. Like, the actor that played Brody is dead.
it was just Kali.
Oh God! Sorry, I've turned over a new leaf. No more Kalima. It's not my thing anymore. I'm ever sorry about that.
Which
phase.
boat
Dead?
is? It's definitely that one with the voodoo skull and the fire, the blood coming out of the back.
It's just a fountain of blood.
The boat
It's
that's named
wine.
Human Heartthrob.
It's just called Kali's Ma.
It's Callie's ma. I'm Callie's pa.
But this little thing I had with when we were talking about how they could just solve all the puzzles like National Treasure and stuff, which is an Indiana Jones thing. But in the
He
other movies,
started
they
it.
kind of established that he knew things early on. This is just like conveniently throughout. He's like, I also know about this.
Yeah.
I also know about this. But I've been playing the new Zelda game, right? And all I could think of was Zelda when they were doing the Echo Cave, and then they go in and they're like, the cave with the methane, and they're trying to figure out how to get out, and he's like, Archimedes liked water displacement, and I'm like, Archimedes liked putting rocks in cups? I don't.
He was obsessed with it. He
yeah,
said,
he's obsessed with it. They just throw all these gears, these big fucking ancient gears, which totally looks like something out of a Zelda game.
Oh, yeah.
Pillars,
And then like it goes in, and it's like,
I
and
was
the
fully
bottom drops out.
I was fully expecting her to like start breaking pots to look for health. This methane's getting me. Quick, break these vases.
Quit throwing those chickens. We have a mission to do
Quit.
here.
Don't breathe.
Yeah, don't breathe. Okay. Like,
Sure.
just stop right now, then, you dumb dick.
So the whole MacGuffin of this is the Archimedes. I don't fucking know. Something.
Archimedes dial.
Yes,
is
it's Archimedes
is
dial. It has a name.
Dumb layman's term, though.
Yeah, and basically Archimedes discovered like it's not magical like every other artifact has
It's
been in all these
mathematical.
movies. It's it predicted where a time fissure would happen, which just happens to be right above where they found his tomb, and.
that's
Basically,
lucky.
Mads Mikkelsen plan is to dress up like Baron von Strucker from the Marvel movies and go back in time because he like puts on little round glasses and everything. Like he changes glasses and everything. Speaking of Baron von Strucker, his little sidekick at the beginning is also in Marvel.
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
I
can't think of
recognized
the
that
actor's
guy
name,
right away.
but he plays Arnim Zola,
Uh-huh.
and. So I have to go back to the beginning for 1 second because Whitney was like, "Should I know who this girl is?" Because they kept saying her name, Helena Shaw, and I was like, "I don't fucking know. I don't think so." And then I finally figured it out because they said the other dude's name twice, Bernard
Yeah.
Shaw, so it was his daughter. They explained it at length
yeah.
eventually, but for the beginning, you're just like, "Who the fuck is this?"
Why
Is
do
that
we
a
know
girl
I
from
figured
Wombat?
out
old
pretty
movie?
quick when she was showing pictures.
Yeah,
I'm like,
once
well,
they show the
that's-
pictures and they talk
Yeah.
about it, and
That's
like,
him. So.
Yeah.
But when she's first like, it's me, and he's like, oh, Wombat. I'm like, am I supposed to know who the fuck Wombat is?
I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't. Senile
Half
fool.
of his face didn't.
Oh, and you know the thing age didn't do well for him? So in the first movie, he's in his class teaching, and it's full of beautiful young women,
Oh,
including
the
the one who's got
eyelashes?
like the eyelashes. What does it say?
No, it's
I
like
love
written
you.
around
Just
your
I love you.
eyelids.
Yeah, on her eyelids. Yeah, she
Love
closes her
you.
eyes and it says "love you."
Yeah, how could you write in your eyelashes? Get
And then
together,
this
Jack.
one, his classroom is full of a bunch of fucking hippie kids who are just falling asleep through his lecture. But you can also tell he doesn't give a shit.
I also
anymore,
can't imagine
so.
this fucking dude is as much of a fan of history and science as he is not letting his people go watch the fucking astronauts that did the moon landing.
Yeah, well, what did he say about the moon landing? He's like, going to the moon is like going to
Going to
Reno. It's in the
Reno.
middle of nowhere, and there's still no poker or something.
Yeah.
No blackjack.
No blackjack.
We didn't mention. I want to mention her. I don't know her name. Don't know the actress' name. I could find out while we're talking about it. But the girl that played the CIA agent,
Oh, okay.
that was the young.
Oh,
black
I
girl.
actually- I
where's
do
her
know-
spinoff?
Foxy
No,
Brown.
she actually, my introduction to her is from the show The Resident. She
Not
was in the
familiar.
first 3. Oh, I love that show. It's canceled now, so you can watch it. There's 5 seasons.
Well, they got canceled.
It
rather
just didn't
watch
get
Scrubs.
repicked. It was a really good show.
Wrap up though.
Shawnette Renee Wilson, by
Yes,
the way.
she is amazing. She this girl is just a phenomenal. Like she owns that camera.
I wanted to
I thought
see
she was
her.
great in this.
Yeah, I want to see her dressed up in this beautiful 1969's attire, the hair, the glasses.
Oh yeah, if they did another
Can I
Foxy,
follow you through your day?
Yeah.
and
The
just
whole-
watch that movie.
Can I
I
f-
left this movie
can
and
I
went
smell
to
your
go watch
farts?
her get groceries.
The whole connection of the villains and stuff with her and everything was really confusing at first. There's a guy on crutches who just kind of disappears.
He
There's
was the
her,
CIA
and they're
person.
like CIA, and then Mads Mikkelsen
Agents
and his
and
people
goons.
aren't agents. They just keep saying you're not an agent. You shouldn't have a gun. Because they're secret Nazis.
Yeah.
And
well,
all these
the
guys
big
were.
feller's not a secret Nazi.
Yeah, he was one of their Nazis.
Yeah.
But he's not a secret Nazi.
Well, no.
You hear this guy talk like, that's a big fucking Nazi, dude.
Well, that's the funny thing is these guys like they're walking around dressed like not Nazis, obviously, because it's 1969.
Blending
but the
in.
second they get that dial, they're just like, oh, let's get those costumes out, and they are
Yeah.
full.
Oh,
like
you went
oh,
full Hugo Boss uniform Nazi outfit.
Yes,
the
you
whole
did.
train chase. By the way, I kept thinking of Jojo Rabbit
Okay.
because when they first when Harrison Ford
Go
walks in the officer's uniform, and everybody stands up and they're Heil Hitler.
Oh yeah.
And
Heil
Zing Heil, Zing Heil.
Heil,
And then
Heil.
and then when they're chasing Harrison Ford and they go through a door and there's an officer standing there and they all stop and they're like Zing Heil, and he's like,
"Don't
just go
get-
fucking get him. So that's all I could think of was the Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler.
We don't have
Heil
time for
Hitler.
pleasantries.
My thought was, I understand why they wouldn't want to put Hitler in here. Nobody wants to play Hitler. Where's Tiki Watiki? I said his
Well,
name wrong.
Taika Waititi.
But
There you
also,
go.
Let him
at
be
this
funny
point,
Hitler.
Hitler is
Disappeared.
hiding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hitler was already basically gone when this movie started. Like he was
Exactly.
in his bunker.
But they don't say that Hitler died. I think they want to save an Indiana Jones movie for confronting Hitler.
well, they did show Hitler, didn't they?
Last
No.
Crusade.
in number 3.
Who was the one who signed
Oh.
his autograph?
And in number 3.
What?
Yeah,
In Last
Last
Crusade.
Oh, I
Crusade.
didn't. Do you know how long it's been? I didn't
No,
watch that
in
with
this
him.
movie.
Wait, what?
What?
Wasn't there? Maybe I'm thinking of Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Better be.
Yeah,
I'm
who
sure
signed
you were
it?
dreaming
Who
during
signed
the
an
movie.
autograph in
I
this
wish I was
fucking
watching
movie?
a better movie right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, you're
Dude.
right. Because when he was dressed like a Nazi, he was on the train. That's definitely Last Crusade. When he's wearing a Nazi uniform and he's walking through and he bumps into somebody
With his dad's journal.
and it's Hitler, and Hitler's like takes the book and signs it and gives it back to him.
Penitent man shall pass.
You're right. That is Crusade. Whatever.
It's a better movie.
It is a better movie.
I
I
don't
wish I
fault
watched
you
that with
for
you last
thinking
night.
of that.
Nazis.
Nazis, dude. Say what you want about Neil
All
McCarthy.
right, I want to say this then, because we're bringing up all the other ones. I feel like this movie was missing out on booby traps.
Yeah,
Oh,
there weren't a lot of booty
definitely.
traps.
There were no
I guess
booty
you had
traps.
the
Like
one,
none.
the methane room. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and that's not really a booby
And like
trap.
he didn't
like,
react to it. Like
Especially-
she was coughing up
Yeah,
a
she's
storm.
coughing and he's just like,
Don't
my lungs
breathe.
are
You
used to
did
this shit.
I drank
Especially
the
you
blood.
bring up like Archimedes. This guy should be the grandfather of the Rube Goldberg device.
I was
Like,
Yeah.
expecting something to
everything
happen
should trigger something.
when
Well,
he picked it up off of
yeah,
his
when
body.
he took the key thing,
The wheel.
that deciphers everything. And he went, or the final. I guess it was the final piece, right? When he
Yeah.
took it
Second
off
half.
of Archimedes' body, I was like, here he should have put something else in its place.
At
you know, like
least
the
a
first
rope
movie.
that when you pull it goes like.
That's
But
where the
instead
methane
it's
was
just
coming
like-
from.
Instead, it's just like, look, he did time travel. He's got a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Phoenix has propellers.
Yeah, the whole. I knew as soon as they focus on. Like, they showed the watch on the body, the dead body, Archimedes' body. And then they go back to Mikkelsen, and he puts on the watch, and, Indy's face is like,
This movie's holding your fucking hand.
1,000%.
It's like, oh no, you're not smart enough to know that watch is the same one. We're gonna really zoom in on it, really show them.
Look at that intricate German clockwork.
this is a bunch of stupid people watching this movie.
Like the
The
pistol and
dragons.
predator.
The dragons. Also, all right, we just did the Rambos. Stop flying your airplanes, your helicopters so fucking low.
That's a note I wrote down because I did take a couple
You
notes.
can't
Why
take
are you
away
flying
your
so
advantage.
low?
You have the advantage over everybody here until you fly low.
Yep.
Yeah, so we get
Dumb
to that, right?
dicks.
Because it doesn't matter. So they get the device and they use it, and as they're flying up into the sky, and Indiana Jones is like, "Oh, by the way, I just thought of this.
I loved his laugh here.
Continental drift, like this isn't going to take you where you think it is." And Mads Mikkelsen's like, "Shut the fuck up, go!"
And he gives him that he's like, you're basing your yada yada on 2,000-year-old landmarks, ha ha. And he
you
gives like a
fucking
really
dumbass.
shitty person laugh. I'm like, all right, good job.
He's an angry
Good
old
job,
man.
Harry.
Abort!
Ford.
And that's Mads Mikkelsen tells him to abort, but we can't. We're getting sucked in. And this is the point where when you see the hole, you've seen the hole already. They're flying towards a slit in the sky.
Vagina in the
I
sky.
was just gonna say the great glowing slit in the sky.
Great sky gina. But then when they get closer to it and they're about to go through it, I was like, oh, it's just a time anus because it's gotten smaller and it's like a pucker that's sucking all the clouds in. I was like, they're gonna fly into this time butthole.
Yep.
And then they're shit out into ancient Rome.
Yeah.
And
What
the
was it,
Battle
230
of,
BC?
The Battle of New York City. What was that?
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Go orange.
Not the one from not the Battle of
Not
New York
the
from
New York one,
Avengers.
yeah.
And
Oh,
you
shit.
see
Which
all
was
the
also
fucking Roman
a fucking
ships.
callback. Like,
Yeah, that
no,
was another callback,
Syracuse.
'cause-
No, not that one in New York.
Yeah, that's what he was teaching at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, another thing they didn't expect us to fucking know. Like, you guys are dumb.
But
you
I-
don't know there's another Syracuse, so here.
Yeah, and I love what you were saying. He's flying. The plane goes through, and these Romans are like, they have fucking dragons.
Both
Which is
sides are
great.
like, they have dragons because
Yeah.
no one
Know
knows
the
what the fuck this is.
But they're flying this plane very low enough that these guys are, dude. These giant
Ballistas.
fucking. Was that what it was?
Ballista. For
These
sure.
giant fucking arrows are just flying through this plane, and these Nazis are just getting skewered left and right.
Which
One
I
guy is
wonder-
like hanging out the door and just gets blown off the
Because
side
they're
of it.
fucking mowing them down with like machine guns and shooting their pistols out of the plane.
I had to wonder how they knew how these Roman archers of ballistas knew how to lead. They never shot anything flying this big before. You've never seen an airplane, but after one shot, like, all right, we got this.
Hey,
I know.
Maybe
What
it's
is
a
it?
straight line.
Maybe they were smart then. They were just like, well, that moves much quicker than a boat. and-
It just didn't. It just
Okay,
didn't
pretend you're
show.
shooting a boat and aim up. We got this.
This was low enough that it could have been that scene from Rambo 2 where he fucking Jason Voorhees is out of the water. One of those Romans could have just jumped up and grabbed the
all right.
plane.
Next pass, everyone jump up and grab a wheel.
That's how you
Got
board
this.
shit.
It was
Roman
a,
style.
a talon.
A talon.
Well, they know what
grab
wheels
its tail.
are. The Romans had wheels.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why dragons have wheels, but you know.
Modern dragons. Modern dragons call for
It's what happens when
modern
you imagine
solutions.
dragons.
Imagine dragons.
How dare you? Oh, you know what? That joke gets you 5 for fighting.
Full marks. I don't know. She said it once and I loved it.
One
Yeah.
more callback to is you see the Greek lasers, right? Which I don't know if it's
Wait,
a real
I'm
history
sorry.
thing.
You said Greek lasers?
Yeah, or
So-
Roman
I've heard of-
lasers.
I
whatever.
No,
was
no,
just
it's-
hearing about
fucker
sea
lasers.
lasers the other day.
If you, Ancient Aliens has a whole thing about it, which means it's not real.
Okay.
No, they've never found evidence.
Did the guy
but
with the hair talk about it?
There are, yeah. Papadopoulos, whatever. I don't fucking know his name.
Gotta love them Greeks.
But there is
Greeks?
no actual evidence that it happened. But there are sketches and things that Archimedes wanted to make big, basically concave mirrors that would harness the sun and shoot a laser beam back at ships and
Oh.
just burn them up.
Yeah,
like-
he talked about it
Okay,
early
they
in the
did talk
movie,
about that.
And then at
Okay.
the end, you
Flash.
see it, but barely. I mean, because there's so much going on. It's so busy. 'Cause
it's
I mean,
what's
it's a battle.
on
but-
his tomb, right?
Well, yeah, but then when they're in ancient Rome and he looks up, he's like, "We're seeing it happen," and you could see on the battlements there, they had a bunch of the mirrors that were reflecting light, but there were 50,000 things going on, so you
Yeah.
could barely see it. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't notice it until the
They
second
thought
shot.
they were Nazi boats at
historical
first,
point
and then
is
they
that
were
no one
like,
knows if it
"That's
fucking
not
worked."
right."
It couldn't have worked. It wasn't like a ray. It was a ray of
I mean,
light.
but if you take a giant parabolic lens, you can create a laser
It's
of
like
a
to
blinding
green.
light.
No, burning.
It's like a,
Really?
oh
oh yeah.
But you've
it's
never
like a magnifying glass.
I mean,
on an ant.
ants.
the
Exactly.
sun was
like,
closer
That's
back
a
then,
parabolic
right?
lens. Is a magnifying glass.
Well,
You can
they're
get a
in the
big one.
Mediterranean. They're closer to the equator, so the sun is more powerful.
Yeah,
There's
that makes
the-
sense.
I mean, and that's the idea. Is it's the same thing as a magnifying glass and ants. So I mean, theoretically, maybe I don't think in reality it would work, but this is Indiana Jones.
I
so.
have lit no less than 5 joints with magnifying glasses. Now imagine that joint was a Roman ship. Imagine that magnifying glass was
out
fucking
of
huge.
wood, soaked in water.
So
Wait.
imagine that ship was built by Cheech and Chong. Instead of it being a van, it was a ship made out of weed.
You guys got any drugs? Not anymore.
Hey, you ever invaded Syracuse? You ever invaded Syracuse on weed?
It's the fucking best, man.
Yeah, I had dosed myself pretty hard for this movie, by the way, because I gotta have fun. If I leave my house, I gotta make it worthwhile.
Jack's just gotta have fun.
Oh, Jax, just wanna have fun. That's all I really want.
You're welcome.
So Indiana Jones gets shot. They make the plane, or they get out of the plane. They parachute out, and it goes down because he's like, Mads Mikkelsen's like, fly us back into the sky, anus, and the guy's like, we can't. We've been hit by giant fucking.
We don't have consent to go back in that anus, sir. It said no, and it closed up real good.
Nazis, and then one more of those giant spear fucking things. What were they called again?
Ballista.
A ballista.
That's the
thing
thing
that
that
shoots
shoots
it.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, a
so
bolt.
goes
ballista
through.
bolt.
Did it go through both of the pilots, or just
no,
the
it just
one?
took out the one.
That
It
was
was like the
Co-pilot.
main pilot, I think.
But even before that, God, the ballista taking out the bolt, taking out one of the Nazis that was at like just the hangar or the door, shooting his pistol. It took him out beautifully.
He went
that was
flying.
wonderful. That was my favorite one.
Yeah, that was death of the movie for sure. Anybody else rooting for Harrison Ford to die?
I
wanted him to
Steven
stay.
Spielberg already spoiled it.
Okay.
Like 2 years ago, Spielberg was like, he's not gonna die. But also, I was sitting there going, maybe, because he got shot and he was bleeding out, and
And you know
they're
Harrison
in
Ford
ancient
wants to
fucking
die
Rome.
on screen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know he
And-
wants that.
I would.
you know, and I mean, and they bring it all back around, but when he's sitting there and she's, Helena Shaw's like, come on, you have to get back in this plane because the little kid flew a plane into the Skyanus with them, and like he stole some fucking Italian dude's plane or
Underage
something.
guy anything, dude.
He just stole some Italian guy's plane who was
He wakes
sleeping
up
in the
and-
plane.
Hey, you stole my plane.
And the guy's like, why are we in ancient Rome? What the fuck is this shit? Like,
It's my great grand Giuseppe.
Great grand.
And-
Great grand Giuseppe.
Great.
No, Giuseppe lived a long time, huh?
you read the Bible, people live 900
Stay
years.
healthy on wine and cheese.
It's the olive oil.
It's good for you.
It's a goal for you.
So, well, just say real quick, they do meet Archimedes.
Yeah.
Really doesn't say it much.
He didn't
Archimedes
say-
has more lines than Karen Allen.
That's true.
So
But he also gets kissed less,
that's true too.
sadly.
But he wants to get left behind. He's bleeding out. He's like, no, I want to stay here. This is fucking
This
dope.
is literally
Like,
my life's work right here.
But
I
to
have
her
been
point,
obsessed
though,
about
what
this.
does she say?
You're gonna ruin time.
You're gonna fuck up the timeline.
He's like, really? Does that really matter? How
And-
good's it going?
I mean, I'm with
Obviously,
him.
Nazis already
but I'm
showed
sure-
up and shot a bunch of people.
yeah, you've already mowed
it.
down a bunch of people. What was one of those Gerard Butler? Now we're not going to get 300. Like,
How are these archaeologists going to explain all of a sudden? Like, all right, so this is the Battle of Syracuse. Was that a Nazi warplane?
so-
Right?
Interesting.
to
But
that
it's already
point, this
happened.
happened before, right?
Yeah.
Because he's got the watch.
You were
and,
always going to meet me.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's the thing is he had set the coordinates. People thought, oh, I can travel to a certain point if I choose the right thing. He had set it so that you were always traveling to this battle because he wanted somebody to come and help his people not get
But it's
killed.
comes to nothing because everyone leaves.
Yeah, I mean, the dragons scare away the army, I guess.
Yeah,
They-
yeah.
they-
They,
they
it
say-
shows them
'cause they were-
leaving.
he does
Okay,
say, like,
all
oh, well,
right.
we are, or I think she says, we already
Shows how
scared
much
off
I
a
paid
whole Roman
attention.
navy or something, so.
All right.
And then, so I mean, I guess
think
this
he
was
peed.
again always supposed to happen. But that was what I was saying. I was like, just let him stay in the past. He looks so much happier. This is the first time this dude has smiled in this entire movie.
And I
Yeah.
love what he says too, because like you have to come back. He's like, for who?
For who?
His kid died and his wife divorced him.
yeah. We
But-
do
Oh,
see that at the beginning. Yeah,
Something Derek pointed out. So in the beginning, we all see him put
How
that
comfortable
giant
those seats were.
Coliseum
The
over her
sand
face.
castle.
Yeah, he's got like a magnet that he
Oh,
sticks
yeah.
over Karen Allen's picture.
After seeing
When-
divorce papers.
Yeah.
When we go back into the apartment, the magnet is no longer over her face.
When she's there putting groceries
Oh.
away, so that's what happens. Helena Shaw knocks him out, and she takes him back, and he wakes up, and Karen Allen comes in, and yeah, she's
And
putting
you hear
groceries
Bleak
in the
go,
fridge. She's putting groceries in the fridge, and
she
he
was
like goes
happy.
over to talk to her and like leans on the fridge and like slyly pulls the magnet that's covering her face off.
Oh, he did it?
Yeah, he did it right then when she was like loading up the fridge. So, and yeah, she has like 4 lines. Basically, everybody shows up. Helena Shaw is already there
The only person that couldn't.
because he did.
Yep, he did.
What about short round?
Well, short round.
He wasn't in this
Everybody
movie.
that was there.
Fucking John Rhys
Oh,
Davies
who's
shows up.
the one guy, his like Egyptian guy.
John Rhys Davies.
Oh,
Yeah, Jeremy Davies.
Okay.
Sala.
By the way, John Rhys Davies was supposed to be in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and it was supposed to be like just a bit part where he helped Indy get somewhere. And he's like, "No, the fans want to see more than that. I'll do the next movie." And then this movie, that's all he does. I guess he was like, "Shit, this is the last one."
Well, he should have been playing the best friend instead of Ray Winstone, but
yeah, I'm glad there was less of him.
This movie ends. And you think like we're all done, right? Well, we get that tight little Looney Tunes blackout
that
circle.
Stupid fucking
I'm
Looney
tapping
Tunes
bleep.
thing.
I'm like, dude, he's gonna grab the hat for sex because him
Sex
and
hat.
Oh yeah,
Because
sex
he's
hat.
back in it.
he's
Because
Indiana
he's him
Boning.
again.
Indiana
Indiana
Boning.
Bones.
But yeah, it's not over in my mind.
So the only thing I will say is this movie had to happen because apparently they Spielberg and Lucas signed a 5-movie contract when they made the first movie.
Really?
So this was to not get sued.
It was like it kind of had to, but in the end, Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford,
No.
Sky.
Harrison
Solo.
Ford
Character
said
actor Indy Jones.
that he after the 4th one, he's like, yeah, I'd still be willing to do another one as long as it doesn't take another 20 years. And to his credit, it only took 15. So
Yeah, so real close.
God, is it really 15 years apart?
yeah, it was 2008,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Adam. Yeah, math.
The year of making old movies new again. We had that. We
I mean, he
had
looked
Rambo.
better in this, and maybe because they shot him better, as far as not in with guns.
He
Cinematography.
did get shot better.
He
'cause
did
actually
get
got
shot
in this, so. He didn't jump into a refrigerator to dodge a bullet.
did
so-
Technically twice, right?
But yeah,
that's right.
He didn't look as rough. He didn't look as slow as Crystal fucking
Well,
Skull.
he said,
so-
or I think I read said he was doing an old man version of training for this movie.
yeah,
he
the
was-
Pilates.
Wait, what?
Well, because like
Scotch and Pilates.
usually
Like
people
training?
people doing like heavy like martial arts training, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
He was basically going. He was doing.
Goat
I don't
yoga.
remember how
Run.
long, how far it said, but he was doing like run and bike ride and like jogs and bike rides and stuff to get fit enough to do it.
Limber.
I think he did gymnastics.
It's not Peter O'Toole.
Oh shit! Never mind.
But yeah,
Hero's
so
been dead for a while, right?
I don't know. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, rest in pictures.
but yeah, that's pretty much that movie.
Yeah. I mean,
Go around for Rex.
I'd honestly, it was enough for me to slightly enjoy. If you want to get the bad taste of Crystal Skull out of your mouth, go see this movie.
Well said. Well said.
Hey, you gotta be careful saying that. Dan Aykroyd's gonna sue us because he makes Crystal Skull vodka.
That's
I
right.
try to get the bad taste
That's
of
right, I
Crystal
made that
Skull out of
vodka.
your mouth. Hey, you talking shit about Crystal Skull
That's the
vodka
best
over
vodka
there?
ever.
The movie.
I'll have no
Crystal-
part of it. Sue 'em. I believe in Americans and American people.
That is the best
That's what I
Dan
am.
Aykroyd
That's
I've
what I
ever
care
heard.
about. Well, it's Dan Aykroyd characters like him
Well,
from
yeah.
Tommy Boy. You pull
Because
on
I
the
make
kid.
vodka for the
make-
American working man. Because
That's
that's
who
who
I
I
am.
am, and that's who I care
That's
about.
who I drink with. So I would recommend this. If you are an Indiana Jones fan, see it in the theaters. Don't wait.
Yes,
It's not
definitely.
going to be better on Disney.
No.
It's not going to be. I don't care what your setup is
home
at home.
theater.
It is going to be a better theater movie. So
Yeah.
I'll give it I don't know, man. Leaving the theater 6 out of 10.
The half chub?
Yeah, half chub. I can work with it.
Yeah? All right.
You can stuff it in there.
Nostalgia feelings, definitely.
You can soak it.
Get
But at the same time, it's let down. Not the original stuff. It was more like family issues and time travel.
Firmly.
Like I said, I take time travel over aliens any day, babe.
So, but what do
Yeah.
you say though? You're giving
Yay,
partial.
nay, nay?
You're giving
Oh.
both. You're giving partials of both.
I watched it. I stayed awake for
I
it.
feel like Patrick's recommendations like torture, where he's never going to say yes or no. He's like, I watched it.
Well, because those early ones, he would say absolutely not, and I was like, "Come on!" But that was like Tammy and the T-Rex and Cool as Ice. Those are way better than this.
Well,
movie.
I don't think anyone should recommend
Wait,
Cool as Ice.
Cool as Ice is better than this movie.
Oh, wow.
You know
But
what?
that was
Janusz Kaminski shot Cool as Ice. He didn't shoot this movie.
That's like an independent made movie. And this one's one of those legacies going. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like, we're going to take this character and he's going to jump a fence with a motorcycle to impress a girl on a horse.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What's
Pretty
yours?
impressive.
Maybe in the
I'm-
80s.
Yeah. Hey, how about you, Sleepy Bear?
I don't know. I guess I agree with what you were saying. If you're an Indiana Jones fan, go see it to finish it out. Harrison Ford is great. Mads Mikkelsen is great. And it is going to be a better experience in the theater unless you happen to be very rich and actually have a theater in your home.
Yeah.
Not a home theater like I
guarantee
have
you
with
we
a large
none of
TV.
those people listening.
No.
And
so,
if you are, dude, hit me up for a little screening.
Yeah, if you are, buy a
donate.
fucking shirt.
Come on.
What the fuck's your problem?
No, come on. I'll bring you a shirt. Just let me watch movies at your house.
But yeah, I guess for that, I would say yeah. But overall, I'm not gonna buy it.
I'll tell you something before we sign off. Do you know that James Mangold is now slated to do a Star Wars movie?
Yes, he's supposed to be doing like the original Jedi, like the first Jedi or
25,000
something.
years before anything we know
Yeah,
from Star Wars.
like a movie about the first like Force users.
This movie makes me a little nervous about that now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
But I mean, Copland.
I have a question.
sold me.
I have a question for all of you. How long before, or how long do you think it'll take for them to redo the whole Indiana Jones franchise?
10 years minimum.
Yeah?
After 10 years after Harrison Ford's death.
No, he's going to die in the next 4.
So
and
14
they're gonna
years.
wait 6 years.
Okay.
I don't know. But if they do start doing that, I'm gonna burn it down.
I'm on record. Harrison
So
Ford's
it's-
going to die in 4 years, but don't come at me when he does. I didn't do it.
It's
I'll
your
have an
fault.
alibi.
That's what all guilty people say.
I have a ticket to his last movie, whatever it was, in 4 years.
I have that ability where I know the exact day you were born, and unfortunately, the flaw is I know exactly when you're going to die.
So that's that. This is our special emergency episode. Hope you enjoy it. Tune in on Monday for our regularly scheduled episode about First Blood. Rambo.
Yeah, get your Ramboners on.
Just First Blood, but just let you know it's Rambo. But it's the good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure to listen to that because it's good. The episode's good and the movie's good. So do both.
Wait.
Anyway.
They're both okay.
So, yeah, all the usual stuff. Check out Evasion. Check out our website. Go to all our social medias and add us there. Share all our posts to all your friends. Send it to their actual messenger constantly until they listen.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I do.
You can send me movie memes at Whiskey Radio on Instagram. Send me all them shits.
That works.
Is that really you?
Yeah.
I don't
Because he
have
gets
that
drunk
one.
and sings.
Whiskey Radio, yeah, that's it.
I love it.
That's just in. I like whiskey.
I love to sing.
That's all for this week. Thank you guys for listening, or for this midweek. I don't know. Thank you guys for listening. And I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
I'm Patrick.
Good night. And da 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 da
Da-da-da.
da 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 da.